that you are able to see my presentation.
Yes, yes, perfect.
Okay.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
So this is a Tinospora cardifolia herb. It is also called as Guduchi. It belongs to family Menispermaceae. So its roots, stems, and leaves, they are mainly used in the Ayurvedic medicine. So this Tinospora cardifolia, it is mainly used to treat diabetes, allergic rhinitis, stomach upset, gout, rheumatoid arthritis, hepatitis, peptic ulcers, jaundice, and psoriasis. So that is the significance of this plant. As we know, rheumatoid arthritis, it is a chronic inflammatory disorder. So it is nothing but an autoimmune disorder which occurs due to mutation in HLA-B27 gene. So normally we use NSAIDs such as naproxen, aspirin, ibuprofen, like that. But arthritis patients, they have to take this medication for long period of time. So they are going to act by inhibiting COX-1 and COX-2 receptors. So by naproxen, if it is upon taking long duration of time, it may cause gastric irritation and peptic ulcers, and it may cause cardiovascular problems. So these are all adverse effects associated with allopathic system of medicine. So psoriasis, as we know, it is a chronic skin disease which results in patches of thick red skin covered with silvery scales. So edema, as we know, this is clinical apparent increase in intestinal fluid volume, that is nothing but edema. So all these can be relieved by using Tinospora cardifolia. So why we are going to prepare ethosomal drug delivery system? Ethosomes are vesicular drug delivery systems. So they are meant for external application. We cannot take internally, as rheumatoid arthritis, edema, psoriasis, allergic rhinitis, all these require external application. So wherever pain and inflammation, redness of the skin, anything is there, we are going to apply our gels or powders upon that particular area. So if by using these herbs, the adverse effects associated with allopathic system of medicine can be minimized, and these formulations are very much helpful to the poor people also. So ethosomes, this is a vesicular drug delivery system. We can prepare a gel, normal plain gel, but if you are converting the plain gel into a ethosomal gel, definitely the permeability through the skin has been improved a lot, and the bioavailability of the herb is also has been increased. So keeping this thing in mind, we have developed a ethosomal formulation for Tinospora cardifolia. So let us see what are these ethosomes. They are nothing but vesicular drug delivery systems. They are mainly composed of phospholipids such as phosphatidylcholine and phosphatidylserine, phosphatidic acid, and high concentration of ethanol and water. So here we are going to use 35 to 40% of ethanol as a major component, and propylene glycol also we are going to use. Here phospholipid is a vesicle formation component. So these are the various methods, by cold method and hot method. These are the two methods by which we are going to prepare ethosomal formulation. So in the cold method, what we are going to do is, we are going to take phospholipid plus drug. Drug means here the Tinospora cardifolia extract. So other lipid materials, they will be dissolved in the ethanol, and that will be kept under stirring for some time. After that, in second phase, we are going to take propylene glycol, which will be heated up to 30-degree temperature. So the phospholipid components and as well as this water, both will be heated up to 30-degree temperature. Then both will be mixed by sonication process. So both will be subjected to the sonication so that the particle size reduction is going to happen. Finally, it will be kept in the refrigerator. So in hot method, the phospholipid will be dispersed in the water, which has been heated up to 40-degree temperature. In the second phase, we are going to take ethanol and propylene glycol, which is also being heated up to 40-degree temperature. So here the most important point is, both the phases should be at 40-degree temperature. So when both are reaching 40 degrees, then we are going to mix by stirring at 700 RPM. So here the stirring time, stirring speed, all these are the parameters which we have to optimize. And what temperature we have to heat. That is also one of the most important point to be considered. So need of the study is why we have developed isosomal formulation for Tinospora cardifolia is it is exhibiting very good anti-inflammatory properties, anti-psoriatic properties, and anti-rheumatic properties. So if you are converting, as NSAIDs are exhibiting n number of side effects upon prolonged usage, such as peptic ulcer, gastric irritation, and cardiovascular problems, if we are going to use herbal medicine for to treat this arthritis patients, ankylosing spondylitis patients, psoriasis patients, definitely the adverse effects associated with NSAIDs can be minimized. Okay, so that upon prolonged usage, patients can be improved, the symptoms can be improved, they can be recovered. So attempts have been made to prepare an ethosomal gel for Tinospora cardifolia to avoid the side effects associated with the synthetic drugs. So we have seen the entire literature survey, whoever worked on Tinospora cardifolia, people have worked on this particular herb. They have prepared gel and all, but none of them they have converted into ethosomal formulation. So by converting, when we made a comparative study between a plain gel having Tinospora cardifolia and an ethosomal gel containing Tinospora cardifolia, definitely the ethosomal gel of Tinospora cardifolia is exhibiting better permeation and better absorption, and the clinical efficacy is also the pharmacological action of Tinospora cardifolia is also increased 10 times when compared to a plain gel containing the same herb. So phytochemical screening tests were also performed, and the procedures are also obtained from the literature. So as there is no ethosomal formulation for Tinospora cardifolia, as it is exhibiting so many advantages, so we have formulated, we have taken up this work. So these are the herbis Tinospora cardifolia. So stem we have taken because stem contain the maximum tannins which are exhibiting anti-inflammatory property. So the solvents is methanol, acetone, and ethanol. So extraction procedure, we have used Soxhlet operator in order to obtain the extract of Tinospora cardifolia. It is the stem extract, the parts. We have taken the stems and we kept for drying for 7 to 10 days. Then we have pulverized using electric grinder. Here we have taken a 7:3 ratio of methanol and acetone as a solvent in order to get the extract. So Soxhlet methods extraction procedure we followed, and finally the residue was dried under reduced pressure using rotary vacuum evaporator. So first of all, we have performed the phytochemical screening test for the obtained stem extract of Tinospora cardifolia. So we made test for carbohydrates, Wallis test, Bernstein test, Forfeit test. These are all common tests. Test for alkalides we have done, Dagendorf test, Wagner's Mayer's test. So next we have performed test for glycosides, legal test, Balger test, Bontrager's test. So next we have performed for test for saponins, test for flavonoids, test for tannins. So after completion of, coming to conclusion that what is the major component that is present in that particular stem extract of Tinospora cardifolia by TLC method, we have done that. So then we performed antimicrobial assay for Tinospora cardifolia extract. We have studied the antimicrobial property of this stem extract against 4 clinical pathogens. So E. coli, Staphylococcus aureus, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Bacillus subtilis, these are the 4 clinical pathogens. We have studied against streptomycin disc, and we found that the zone of inhibition was found to be better for Tinospora cardifolia when compared to a streptomycin disc. So it is exhibiting very good antimicrobial property. That was our observation in the lab. So next, as we confirmed that the stem extract is exhibiting very good antimicrobial property, and from the review of literature also we came to know that the stem extract is exhibiting good and rheumatoid against anti-arthritic property, anti-psoriatic property. So we started formulating ethosomal vesicular drug delivery system. So here we have developed 6 formulations, both by hot method as well as cold method. So in hot method, in cold method, we kept ethanol concentration constant, ethanol and propylene glycol also we kept constant, and a lipid to soya lecithin. Lipid we have taken soya lecithin, that was also kept constant 10 mg. So here we have keep on changing the drug concentration So we would like to know how much amount of the drug it is capable of incorporating within its vesicular structure, and which formulation will be giving the maximum entrapment efficiency and better diffusion release studies. So these are the microscopic images we have seen under trinocular microscope. We are observing vesicular structures. We have seen now some of them are multilamellar vesicles, some are unilamellar vesicles. So this is the ethosomal formulation by hot method. Here also we have continued the same thing. In hot method, we are going to heat both phases up to 40-degree temperature. So here also we kept ethanol, propylene glycol and soya lecithin as a constant parameters. We varied the drug, that means Stinospora cardifolia stem extract from 5 mg to 25 mg, and we would like to know how much amount of the drug concentration is going to give better vesicular structure and how it is exhibiting good drug release profile. So these are the evaluation parameters: product yield, drug content, entrapment efficiency and diffusion studies. So how much amount of ethosomal total formulation we got, that is nothing but product yield. Within that, how much amount of the drug has been present. For in the formulation, we have taken 10 mg of the drug, for example. Within the 10 mg, how much amount is present within the vesicular structure, that is the drug content. So how much amount of the drug has been entrapped within the vesicular structure, that is entrapment efficiency. The efficiency, how much amount of the drug has been entrapped within the vesicular structure, that is nothing but entrapment efficiency, which is very, very important parameter in novel drug delivery system. So finally, we have to know how much amount of the drug is being released from the formulation. That is considered to be most important parameter. So what is our expectation is more than 95% of the drug should be released from the vesicular structure. That is considered as a best formulation. So here entrapment efficiency we have done by ultracentrifugation method. So here we have used 7.4 pH phosphate buffer, 17,000 RPM we maintain for 40 minutes at -4-degree temperature. So let us move to the results and discussion part. Here in the phytochemical screening test, we observed the presence of saponins, flavonoids, tannins, proteins and amino acids. In antimicrobial activity, the zone of inhibition was considered to be better when compared to that of streptomycin disc, which is exhibiting 17 centimeters. Our formulation is exhibiting more than that. So this is TLC plate, which indicates the major component is tannin. So this is a standard plot of tannic acid. So from which we are going to calculate the drug content, entrapment efficiency and drug release from the vesicular drug delivery system. So this is the drug content. We have taken 6 formulation from 5 mg to 25 mg. So upon comparison, the formulation 1 even exhibiting 5 mg drug it is exhibiting maximum drug content when compared to remaining formulation. So we have seen this is the hot method. We made a comparison between hot method and cold method. Which method is better for formulation of ethosomal formulation for Stinospora cardifolia? So on comparison, the drug content in the hot method, even formulation which is exhibiting 5 mg of the drug, it is exhibiting better drug content, that is 93.43%. Then we made a comparison for the entrapment efficiency. So upon comparison, all the formulations are exhibiting very good entrapment efficiency. It is the 99% we got by cold method as well as from hot method. So then we compared the drug release profile. So the drug release profile was observed to be good for both hot method and cold method. So when we have seen for cold method, even formulation is exhibiting 96% of drug release from the vesicular drug delivery system. So our goal is to get more than 90%. So we got 96% of drug release by cold method. And by hot method also we got 94% of drug release. So both hot method as well as cold method, both are exhibiting better drug release profiles. Then we have studied the mean vesicular diameter of the ethosomal formulation. So What is mean vesicular diameter means, for example, we have studied the structure by using scanning electron microscope. Here, wherever we are going to project, only we are going to obtain the vesicle diameter of that particular zone. It may not be correct. All the vesicles whichever present in that formulation may not be in the particular nano range. So we have done it by doing the zeta potential. We have measured the zeta potential as well as mean vesicular diameter. We got 250 nanometers as a mean vesicular diameter, and the zeta potential value is more than 50 millivolts, which is considered to be stable. The formula, it indicates stability of the formulation, because when we are going to reduce the particle size, definitely the particles will come closer to each other upon prolonged duration, upon storage. Then they may form the bigger one. So stability is the major issue in novel drug delivery system. If we go for nanoparticle drug delivery system as well as in vesicular drug delivery system, getting less particle diameter as well as getting more stable formulation, they are the challenging task. If you are getting less mean particle diameter, entrapment efficiency is considered to be one more area where we are struggling a lot. So we have to make so many trials in order to get a low mean vesicle diameter with good entrapment efficiency and with maximum drug release. So here we are capable of getting that even formulation. It is exhibiting 250 nanometers range, the mean vesicle diameter, and it is exhibiting more than minus 40 millivolts of zeta potential value with 94% drug release, and entrapment efficiency is also more than 90%. So this formulation we developed as a gel, and we made a comparative study with the plain gel. Upon comparison, the idhosomal gel is exhibiting better diffusion when compared to that of plain gel. So its clinical efficacy is also considered to be more when compared to a plain gel. So these findings are considered to be very interesting. So we would like to continue the further study by we want to perform the clinical trials also, the clinical trials upon animal studies. Animal studies we would like to do, and we would like to continue the studies, and if possible we want to collaborate with the manufacturing units. Then we want to launch the product also. So finally, this is Tinospora cardifolia is considered to be a very good herbal drug, which is mainly used to treat arthritis and psoriasis, and it is also having other properties. It is anti-carcinogenic also. So in order to improve its bioavailability, because all herbs will be having poor solubility. So the solubility is less means its dissolution will be less, which in turn is going to affect the bioavailability. So if the solubility has been improved, automatically the bioavailability of the drug will be improved. So clinical efficacy is also improved. So in order to improve the bioavailability of Tinospora cardifolia, we have developed an idhosomal formulation. Here we have taken the stem extract of Tinospora cardifolia, and we have developed idhosomal formulation, evaluated all the parameters, and we successfully formulated. We have converted into gel, and we studied its drug release property compared with plain gel. The idhosomal gel is exhibiting better release properties when compared to that of plain gel. With this, I would like to thank all of you for your great patience. I thank the organizer